People to draft a decree and someone who loves nature. Someone who loves nature. So Clint. Is Sasha even... Sasha's not a lawyer though, right? Oh, she is. Okay. Loves the... I don't know who loves nature. Do you love nature, Debbie? Doesn't look like... Oh, worked on legal actions against environmentalists. She does not love nature. Does Alta love nature? Oh, there's some information about them, eh? Famous among other PR specialists for writing a patriotic speech without mentioning America once. She has popular evening live streams featuring cooking and knitting. Digital security specialist, spies in social engineering, likes to take an aggressive approach when attacking security systems. Aside from her older sister, she's very fond of Rapperville Doc. Trying to see if anyone who loves nature. Centrist, someone routinely raised money via crowdfunding, bought a house in Los Angeles. Next interviews for his channel. Two brothers. Oh, it does say two brothers. Little is known of his personal life. Fluent major world languages. No one's ever seen her angry. Troy? Mentally unstable due to childhood abuse from his older brothers and his mother. Pain as dirt awakened his writing talents and aggravated his sense of justice. Maybe Troy. So Clint, Sasha, Troy. I have an idea. We've got this service, right? That, oh, it's 338,000 though. I guess we'll burn Clint out. Let's do it. Okay, so they're off for the rest of the month. So if I want to do one of these other things. Mr. President, I'm asking you to rescue Aaron Hoppy, an investigative journalist. A few years ago, he went to the Philippines to inquire into the local arms trade and got imprisoned. The Philippines authorities and our intelligence agency have been playing the blame game ever since, going out of their way not to do anything. I think the agencies are doing it on purpose. Aaron was a thorn in their side, just like Will Tritch had been. We could use another Will. I am breaching the professional ethics here, but you should know, shortly before his departure, Aaron said he had evidence that would make a few men from the Ministry of Defense and the Philippines government answer some very tough questions. Unfortunately, only Aaron knows the truth, and it would take a heavily armed military squad to get him out of there. But you are the president. Surely you have one of these at your disposal. So we're probably not going to be able to do that anyways unless we get some new hires. Organize negotiations. I like to see what's coming up. Julian Gillard, Secretary of State. Sir, I was recently contacted by Busan Hamaju, the leader of the rebels in Cameroon. They have been controlling the south of the country for over a year now, including the region with the richest crude oil deposits. Miraculously, Hamaju's ragtag bunch of misfits not only managed to secure the oil rigs, they even set up a gasoline refinery. Except they have no means to transport their product and no buyers. That's where we come into play. This stuff is getting really complicated. The enterprising young man asked me to help him find customers. I remembered about one rather specific organization in Egypt that could handle logistics for Maju. But there is a problem. Neither side in this arrangement is recognized by any of the world's powers. so it may be difficult to come to an agreement. We cannot act in the open, and the situation is further complicated by the fact Madjus can only speak Cameroonian Pidgin. I don't know how you pronounce that. If you can arrange negotiations in complete secrecy, the interest from the transaction will go to your charity foundation. Such an undertaking requires the help of a professional diplomat who speaks several languages, as well as security experts who will guarantee confidentiality. So once again, that would be Sasha, who does have a passport, and some security specialists, which we don't have. Settle a conflict. Paul says, "Sir, don't think I've come here to squeal the boss." I think I already read that, right? Few skilled PR experts. Okay, so maybe Ben and Alta. And a negotiator. We can wait for that, though. Dove hunt. This, okay. Mr. President, are you convinced? Instead of working for the good of Britain, my good-for-nothing prince is out with his mistress and reducing the population of rare animals in the United States. I'm sure Robert is a good boy, but a lack of maternal attention has made him a bit infantile. I was about to say infertile. We don't know that for sure, okay? Robert is going hunting at Camp David, and I'm sure he'll bring Rita with him. I hope you have people who can show Robert that his dear really Rita isn't worth his time. Wean Prince Robert away from Rita Huron. Who would we send to do this? I don't know. Alta, probably. Should we try out Amira? See what Amira can do? Mr. President, once Robert and Rita are settled at Camp David, you will have complete control of the situation. Do whatever you see fit to end this shameful affair. Show Rita in such a light that my son will never look at her again. Don't think I'm a heartless woman. Not at all. I'm only thinking of the country, of things far more important than momentary sexual attraction. I ask only one thing of you. Hunting is a dangerous business, so don't you dare hurt anyone. Alta, hit on the prince in front of Rita. Post a poem on the White House website about the woes of cheating. Amira, attack Rita with drones. Scare the horses with the air raid alarm. Let's hit on the prince in front of Rita. Cowboy, you know me. I got away with words. I introduced myself to our sweet couple as the Camp David guide and led them for a good half hour between the evergreens and conifers. When Rita turned away, I grabbed the prince by the chest and kissed him as hard as I could. Rita, of course, whipped around and saw the whole thing, and of course got the whole thing all wrong. She slapped Robert in the face and rode off on her horse. I think this story is over. Yes, Alta! Delivering! Mr. President, thank you for your help. Thanks to you, my son has finally become disillusioned with his mistress and returned to his wife. The journalists are already writing that Britain is in blossom, just like the love of Robert and his sweet Sophia. Today, a rainbow appeared over Buckingham Palace, a sure sign that things are looking up. For your aid, I grant you the title of Baron. Frame it or put it on your desk. Sell it if you want, I don't care. And to the title of Baron, I also attach regular donations. Not to you, of course, but to your foundation. Yes! Get to repost! Everyone around here is cheating on their wives. It's all television's fault. I'll show you what it means to be a good husband. Oh, this one's not so good. Hug your loved ones! Not such a good one. I wonder where my boyfriend is hanging out. I wish you were gay, Mr. President. I think children should be taught family ethics in school. Society is decaying. Not my favorite, but we tried our best. Maybe I should have gone with the soap opera. Got 0.4, lost 0.1. 500,000 a month. Awfully sorry, cowboy. I had to blow off some steam. I decided to do a few shots at the smelly goose. Well, let's just say I ended up having a few too many. Before I realized what was happening, I was already bragging to some random dudes about working for you. They bought me a few more rounds and kept asking about you. At some point, it wasn't even me there anymore. Just the booze talking. I really hope I didn't spill anything sensitive. Must be all the stress. Normally I have a great alcohol tolerance. Oh my god. We just lost Alta. Dear, there's been a rat under your nose. They've been telling stories to the press that make my skin crawl. Just DC is printing a story about your secret 9-figure accounts, luxury yachts, and a full harem of concubines. Where the hell are they getting this stuff from? Luckily, they don't have any hard proof. Of course, these asinine stories are still going to make the rounds. You know how the journalists are, but I don't think they're in any real trouble yet. I don't think we're in any real trouble yet. Fuck! Fuck! I guess shit. Fuck. Well, okay, let's take a look at this item. Title of Baron. Her Majesty Queen Anne IV granted you the title of Baron. You could sell it to someone or just lord it over the media. But we get 500,000. Wait, do I always have 500,000 even if I sell this? Oh. Things aren't going well, guys. Things are not going well. And I'm going to be losing... ratings now. Our salaries are pretty low, though. I lost another 3.5%. Sir, we failed to evacuate the American embassy staff in Bahrain in time. Islamist forces entered Manama. German soldiers who remained in the city to the end managed to save our people in the nick of time. The whole world is wondering how the United States can be a world-leading democracy if they can't protect their own. I can't even keep my employees. Oh my god. This is truly awful. March 2023, the darkest. February was the darkest of months. But hey, we're at like 6 billion. It's good. Okay. Mr. President, the decree is simply marvelous. I'm sure that people will appreciate your desire to make American air cleaner. Oh, this is good. It's not that good though. 2.2 to get just a little bit more. Less than like 6 point something. 6.5%. Mr. President, can I quote you in an essay I'm writing for Goldman? Sure. Alan, thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me to shadow you in Washington, Mr. President. That's actually how I phrased it for my followers. I hope you don't mind. I also mentioned the priceless lessons you taught me about politics and life. We'd make a pretty good team, wouldn't we? Mr. President, you must have heard about the Russian director who made the hit movie called Crime. The sequel titled Punishment is finally out. The agonizing protagonist's conscience totally takes him to pieces. I mean, I literally feel like that recently. I need some time with my family to recover. I'll be off work for a while. Paul Leroy says, American operatives have apprehended North Korean spy Chu Se-an. According to our sources, the president himself personally contributed to the arrest in some way. Although the details remain secret, he has earned the gratitude and support of the intelligence community. Joanna Rizzuto says, bitter debates of the 20th Amendment continue. Its proponents argue that the amendment guarantees the president's independence for performing his presidential duties, while skeptics insist that Congress should never seriously consider something so absurd. Archie says, I will not allow scoundrels like our president to have their past sins washed away. I promise you that. Steps have been taken, and you will hear about them soon enough. The president belongs behind bars. Mr. President, I had to work with Troy on an assignment, and I've got to tell you, he's a total jerk. He should be fired, and I mean right away. Will you fire him? No. Buddy, I've never seen such nerds like they have in Congress. They're worse than the guys at the Bureau, the eggheads who examine evidence under a microscope. The amendment is short and sweet, but the amount of paperwork and procedures it has to go through is insane. It's been obvious to everyone for a long time that the amendment will be passed, but for now, all we can do is wait. Holly Shop, a thief. Mister, stealing a precious vase from the White House is easy as pie for me. You should probably report this to your security service, but the disappearance of the vase went unnoticed for a week. No one in the White House, including your wife, has paid any attention. Perhaps I could be of some use to you. If you say so, I'm always ready to consider a generous offer. Holly, okay, now we're talking. Hun, I'd like to have a little reception at the White House for veterans of the Vietnam War Day. We'll feed the ex-soldiers noodles and have the Secretary of Defense shake their hands and thank them for their service. Nothing special, just a little show of respect. Is that okay? Sure. Russell Lynn, Administrative Policy Advisor. Mr. President, you've probably already seen the leaked video of Senator Woods in handcuffs and bondage gear asking a mysterious stranger in a cat mask to punish him to the fullest extent of the law. Well, here's my question. Should we force him into retirement for this horrific blunder? It's damaged the government's reputation. It's a punishment he might not get off on. Oh. Senator, is this one of the people that's supporting us? I don't know, man. I'm not judging them as long as it's all consensual and stuff, you know? No one's getting hurt. No? Fuck. Vernon Chuchley, chairman of Mr. President's fan club. Mr. President, Shine ranked you third on their top 10 most stylish male politicians list. If it was any other magazine, I'd be happy for you, but the old bags on Shine's editorial board have considered checkered jackets and sandals with socks the height of fashion since the 80s. You need to get yourself off that top 10 list of shame right away. Let's hire Harrison, the extremely expensive stylist who picked the new look for Face, Rickles, and half the male celebs in Hollywood. Sure. Today just isn't my day, hun. I've got a terrible migraine, and I spilled coffee on my dress and barely managed to clean myself up before a meeting with Goodwill Ambassador. Then I run to the blue room and get stopped by some goon. He tells me the room is for government employees only. I asked him politely, showed him a picture of us. In the end, I had to get other Secret Service guys to convince them to let me in. I was late to the meeting and ended up looking like a moron because of the whole debacle. Let's fire that guy, okay, hun? Sure. I'm in such a bad mood after all this mess. This game is stressful sometimes. This game's giving me gray hairs just like it does every president. Fergus Bright, trade attaché. I bought my wife a new smartphone the other day, Mr. President. I had to pay extra for a charger, but I've already got half a dozen of the damn things lying around the house. I don't understand why I should have to pay for a charger I don't even want. Antitrust law is pretty clear about this. Mandatory cross-selling is illegal, but smartphone manufacturers are flagrantly violating it. Let's put them in their place and make them sell phones without a charger, okay? Yes! Buddy, have you checked your Twitter recently, buddy? Everybody's backing up Senator Woods. They're saying it's the 21st century and judging somebody for a sex tape is just about the same as supporting the crooks who leaked it in the first place. In just one day, Woods got so many new followers, he's almost caught up to me. That dog won't hunt, buddy. I've got a whole hard drive full of these videos, man. Should I leak them myself? Yes. Please do. Let's commit to this craziness. Rufus Vance, Assistant Secretary of State. The latest news from Guatemala isn't great, Mr. President. Camaro, the leader of the country, is continuing to jail his political rivals. Now, Carlos Tornero, one of the leaders of the opposition, has been imprisoned. The quote, abuse of power is a result of indifference that the press went wild with came from Tornero. Let's express our support for the Guatemalan people by naming a street in DC after Tornero. What do you think? Sure. I'm just agreeing to everything. Anthony Rose, Secretary of Labor. Mr. President, unions all over the country are worried about what the company Juul has been up to, especially their latest invention, a smart gardener. This robot knows exactly how to weed gardens and tend to every kind of plant there is. This technology is putting thousands of gardeners out of a job. Just think about Patrick, your gardener. Where's the old guy going to go if he's replaced by an AI? I think we should levy a tax on innovations that take people's jobs. We can use the revenue to support all the people the technocrats are putting out of work. Don't you agree? Yes, I'm just agreeing. Everybody. St. Patrick's Day is coming right up, buddy. If you ask me, it's the best dang thing the Irish ever cooked up. We should throw a party at the White House and fill the fountain on the North Lawn with something other than green water. I'm talking about foamy green beer, man. That's as Irish as you can get. The guys could really use a break, you know? They've been kind of on edge recently. You try to talk to them, and they just grumble at you and act all huffy. How about setting a few bucks aside for a party, buddy? Yes! Oh, yes, yes. Give me the sweet, sweet ratings. Mr. President, we were pretty much the only ones in the government who didn't condemn Senator Woods, whose BDSM video went viral. Well, people online seem to respect you even more now. They say BDSM is perfectly normal, and everyone already knows that politicians have needs too. That was one kick-ass St. Patty's Day party, buddy. Oh, this is stress. That's what this means. Stress -1. Sure, the beer was all domestic, but it flowed like wine. Did you see the fountain? The pics came out freaking sweet. The guys and I got loaded and started chatting about this and that, going over recent events and stuff. It was a blast. Okay, bring in the negativity. I should just accept everything all the time. Mr. President, we levied a tax on innovations that take people's jobs and announced extra relief for anyone who got laid off because of them. Your approval rating went up. Since we've got a lot more laborers than Juul employees here in the US, Juul is threatening to move the corporation to another country if we keep suffocating them with taxes for investing in human progress. -0.2. Mr. President, a street in Washington, D.C. now bears the name of the Guatemalan political prisoner Carlos Tornero. However, it turns out that most people don't know who he is. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. And once they found out, they were confused. Don't we have enough heroes here in America? The nerve, and so forth. Check it out, buddy. I leaked a couple of my favorite sex tapes, so Woods wouldn't beat me on Twitter with his bondage stuff. Well, apparently the folks in the Twitterverse aren't as tolerant as you might think. After they spent half an hour talking about how fat my ass looked in the videos, I decided to delete them forever. Should I start working out? That'll be the day. God. So bad at this game. We force smartphone manufacturers to take the chargers out of the box, Mr. President. No, I was saying make them sell options that don't have chargers. Not all of them. But now if you want to buy a charger, you need to pay 3 times as much as when they came with the phone. And manufacturers have already said they're going to start making new chargers with new connectors even more often. Damn it, those bottom feeders always find a way to suck more money out of you. I need to go on a vacation after this. Well, hon, the Secret Service guy who got fired for not letting me into the Blue Room got mobbed by reporters on his way out. They tried to make a martyr out of him. But our press service informed them that the ability to recognize White House residents is a job requirement for all security personnel. Press did their best to make a big stink out of the whole thing, but they came up empty. I think we ended up kind of like breaking even after all that. So just saying yes to everything is probably just as effective as me actually thinking about them. It's like all this shit's totally random. Mr. President, your image has been profoundly altered thanks to Harrison's input. The cut of your new jacket makes you look 10 years younger. Those old bags from Shine will never call you stylish again. Thank God. Reassemble the fan club. Regulate robotics.